Hello children, good morning and welcome back to your class. Dear children, today I am just going to start a new chapter, that is acid, bases and salt. Do you know that whatever the food item that we are eating, some food item contain acid, bases and some are salty. How can you recognize whether the given food item contain acid, bases or salt? Dear children, as per the test, acid are sour in taste, bases bitter in taste. So if the food item that you are taking, if it you realize sour taste, definitely it contains acid. If it has bitter taste, then bases. Or if salt like taste, then it is a salt. So today we will try to understand the chemistry of acid, bases and salt. Before this, you have to know that acid is some acid are very corrosive in nature. Some are acid when comes in contact with our body part, it burns our body part. But some acid are also there which are harmless acid, that are called organic acid. So altogether today we will try to focus ourselves on the chemistry of acid. So dear children, let's come and start the chemistry of acid. Clear? So chemistry of acid. First of all, you have to know that acid, that is sour taste. Sour in taste. So many food items that we are eating is having sour taste. For example, amla, tomato, grapes. So many grapes are having this acid. So this is a peculiar property of any acid, that is sour in taste. Clear? So acid can be harmful or harmless. Harmless acid means the acid when comes in our contact body part or anyhow it when comes in our contact, it gives no any harms to our body part. Such acids are also called organic acid. Organic acid. Actually, why the word organic we are using here? Because organic means the acid which are extracted from the organic part, or you can say from the plants or animals. That's why they are natural acid. Another name of organic acid, we can also pronounce it as a natural acids. Clear? These are harmless. Clear? Harmless, already I have explained to you that when it exposed, when it comes to our body part, no harm will be there. So many examples are there, dear students, like oxalic acid, citric acid. You can take so many examples like acetic acid, formic acid, tartaric acid. These acids are a good example of harmless or organic acid extracted from either plant or animal. Clear? And that's why they are regarded as a natural acid. But what about the harmful acid? Actually, harmful acid are very harmful, very corrosive in this sense that when such type of acid, the harmful acid comes in the contact of our body part, it creates irritation and burns will take place. They are very harmful and they are extracted from inorganic source, also called mineral acid, because they are also the acid which fall under this harmful category are extracted from minerals. That's why regarded as mineral acid. So many examples are there. This is also called mineral acid. Mineral acid. Also another name is inorganic acids. Clear? Now, what are the examples are there that we have to learn? Dear children, there are so many examples are there, but as per our syllabus, there are three inorganic acid we have to learn. That is, one is sulfuric acid. That formula is S2SO4. this sulfuric acid is also regarded as king of chemical. Clear? In the entire chemistry, this sulfuric acid, which is a strong you can say, or harmful acid, that is regarded as king of chemical. So this is first. The second one, that you can write hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid, formula is HCl. And the third and most important, that is nitric acid, whose formula is HNO3. So these three acids that we have to learn, these are harmful acid. Harmful in this sense that they are very corrosive. When comes in contact of any body part, they burn. Not only body part, when come in contact with any cloth item, they will start burning the cloth item, or paper also. So they are very harmful. But here you can see that harmless acid are there, organic acid are there, also called natural acids, and they are extracted from either animal source or from plant source. There are certain food stuffs are there, certain food items are there where these all acids are present. So acetic acid, you can see the example. Acetic acid present in vinegar. Citric acid, that is present in oranges, that we are generally prefer to eat. Oranges, they are present. Oxalic acid, that is present in tomato. Formic acid, already in the previous chapter I have explained you that when there is ant bite, because of that ant injected the formic acid. So this formic acid is extracted, or you can say generated, in ant's bite. So this is also harmless acid. So ant bite. So like this, so many acids are there, and tartaric acid also present in grapes. So like this, so many acids are there, and dear children, these all acids that you can see here only, these all acids are harmless. Again and again I am reminding, harmless, because the acid which are, if they are present or if we take in our food stuff, they are not going to harm our body. Clear? That's why regarded as harmless. Here you can see that harmful acid, the three acids that we have already discussed: sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, and nitric acid. Clear? Now here I want to mention you that in our stomach, they already I have explained to you that in our stomach there is certain acid that is secreted in the inner wall of the stomach, and that is your hydrochloric acid. But hydrochloric acid, because of the mucus which is present inside, the secretion which is present inside the inner lining of the stomach, the hydrochloric acid generated there will not going to harm the stomach. Here I want to mention you that HCl is very important for the digestion of the food in our stomach. It also makes the food material inside the stomach acidic and help in digestion. Clear? Already we have explained, dear children, in the second chapter. Understood? So HCl is very important. It is mineral acid, but it is secreted sometime in our body because in our stomach for the digestion process. Clear? No? And if excess of HCl generation takes place inside the body, or you can say the stomach in the human body, it creates a problem that is called acidity. Not only that, if so many persons are habit of drinking enough tea, coffees, so because of such activities, such habits, also generating enough acidity in the stomach, and that is enough generation of hydrochloric acid in the stomach, and create a problem that is called acidity. Understood? So this way we can understand about the concept of acid. Not only that, there are certain other way also by which we can classify the acid based on whether the acid is very strong, whether the acid is very weak. Clear? So what are the criteria? How can we say that the acid is very strong? How can we say that the acid is very weak? So another way by which we can, the acid can be based on its strength, you can say strength, that acid can be classified as strong acid, and second one, that is weak acid. Now what is the criteria? How can we say that the acid is a strong or acid is a weak? dear children, you have to keep in your mind that if acid is very harmful, acid is very corrosive, acid creates dangerous activity on the body part of any animal or human being. If acid, when exposed to cloth or paper or any surface, it creates certain reaction, it damages the surface, then it is a strong acid. So when we try to correlate, the strong acid will come under the mineral acid, or you can say all this sulfuric acid is a strong acid, hydrochloric acid is also come under the category of strong acid, and nitric acid also a very strong acid. So strong acid are highly corrosive, dangerous to human beings and all animals and plants also, and it is very harmful effect with other exposed material. Clear? So that's why the strong acid are harmful acid. Example, you can take any example of that. And second, you can see that weak acid. Weak means harmless. Weak means harmless. It means that when they are non-corrosive, non-harmful, means they are harmless. So when they come in the contact with any body part, or if you are eating the food stuff containing such type of acid, we are not going to any type of harm. So dear children, you can see that under this weak category, so many acids you can write, that is oxalic acid, citric acid, acetic acid, formic acid. These all acids are weak acid, harmless acid, non-corrosive acid, natural acid, or you can see that they are organic acid. Clear? So this way we can classify the acid into harmless and harmful, and also we can classify the acid as strong acid and weak acid. There is also one separate category of classification of acid, whether the acid contains enough water or acid contains less water. Because here I want to mention you, dear children, that if there is no water, the acid will not behave as an acid. Let me explain you one example, then it will be clear to you. Suppose hydrochloric HCl gas, hydrochloric gas. When this gas, HCl gas, this is suppose you think that this is your hydrochloric chloride gas or hydrochloric gas. When it will come in contact with water, then it will behave just like a acid. HCl, I mean to say that when HCl comes in contact with the water, H2 is water, then it will behave just like a acid. Means if we remove this water, if we release this water, this will not behave just like what? Acid. Clear? Listen. So depending upon the amount of water present in the acid, can be classified acid as a concentrated acid and dilute acid. See, so acid can further be classified as a dilute, and the second category, that is concentrated acid. Listen, keep in mind, if the amount of water present in the acid is less, then it comes under category of concentrated acid. Again I am reminding you, if the amount of water present in the acid is in less quantity, then it is concentrated acid. It means that amount of water is in less quantity. Clear? So many acids are there that you can take the example sulfuric acid, you can take the example of hydrochloric acid, you can take the example of nitric acid. But here I want to mention you that in this case, in the dilute one, if we will add excess of water, if the amount of water is enough in that acid, then such type of acid is called dilute water. The addition of water, here also I want to mention you, the addition of water to the acid is called dilution. This is the addition of water to the acid is called, what is the name of that process? Dilution. But here I want to mention you that generally we are not adding acid water into acid. We are adding acid into water, that I will discuss later on. First let me clear you. So here you can see that dilute acid means if the amount of water is more in acid, then such acid is called dilute acid. Clear? So addition of acid, if I am adding acid and enough water, then such type of thing will be dilute acid. In short, if you have to keep in your mind, if I am adding acid plus less water, then it will be concentrated acid. But here you see one thing is common, the addition of water is must, either the acid is concentrated or dilute. So example is sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid and nitric acid. Here also you can take the example sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid and nitric acid. Now both have same example, so you may ask that how can we understand that whether the given acid is concentrated or dilute. Actually we are whenever it is when you are going to purchase the acid, sulfuric acid or any type of acid, or in the lab also, in the chemistry lab also, when you see, generally we are prefer to keep this acid in glass bottle, and in that bottle it is labeled that H2SO4 and bracket we are writing concentrated CONC dot. It means that the acid which is present in that glass bottle is concentrated acid with less quantity of what? Less quantity of water. Less quantity of water. Like HCl also concentrated, like HNO3 also concentrated. Clear? But what about if the acid is dilute, then we are labeling the bottle with dilute acid with H2SO4 bracket we are writing dilute. It means that if we any bottle, if it is written in this way H2SO4 dilute, it means that this acid contain more amount of what? Water. And if concentrated, what is there? Then it is called less amount of water. Understood? Now dear children, let's come to see that how can we change the concentrated acid into dilute one. How can we add enough amount of water, and what is the process of making the acid dilute? So you have to learn the things, and you have to keep the thing, one basic thing I am trying to make you clear, that right now I have explained you that addition of acid in water is called dilution. Means the process by which we are adding acid in water, means addition of water is there and mixing of water and acid takes place. That process is called dilution, and the process, by this process we will get dilute acid. Clear? Now here the question arises that how we can do the process of dilution. Here children, for dilution there is a very common thing that question somebody can ask that is it preferred to add acid in water or water in acid? It might mean to say that suppose I am adding acid in, suppose this is glass, water is there, and I am going to add acid in this. This is right way. Or if I am taking water and that I am going to add into a glass bottle containing acid. Here is water. Mean to say that is it good? It is right to add acid in water or water in acid. The two conditions that you have, either you can add acid into water or water into acid. By these two ways you will get the dilute acid, but what is the correct method? How we can make the process safe? To understand this, we'll try to see this one. See, suppose, actually I have explained you right now that acid is very corrosive, very dangerous. Okay, so and suppose I will prefer first I am preferring this one. Second case, first I am preferring this one. I am going to add water into acid. When you are adding water into acid, when the water comes in contact with acid, actually the addition of water into acid is very exothermic. Exothermic means the release of heat takes place. Heat will release out. When the water will be when you add water into acid, there will be release of heat. Enough heat release will take place, and the acid of this may splash out from that container, and then after it may falls on your skin, on your body part, and it may burn your body part. So addition of water in acid may be dangerous, because the reaction, when you do in this way, the reaction become exothermic, release of heat takes place, and that much heat will make the acid to start boiling, and it may splash out, may burn your body part. Clear? So this process we will not prefer. That is not a safe process. But when we are going to add acid in water, actually when we are going, suppose we are going to add acid in water, but not in all acid at a time. Slowly we'll add in this way. The correct way is like this. Suppose this is your beaker containing water. You take one glass rod, okay, and put few drops of acid over this. Acid is there and water is there. Acid will fall on this surface and will come to the water surface, and then you stir it well. Clear? So when the acid come in contact with water, again the heat generation will take place, but the enough amount of water is there, so it will minimize the effect of heat, and you are stirring, and that is the reason the heat will be minimized, and easily by this process again you add certain amount of acid, again you stir it. So this way when you do, means addition of acid to water, when you are doing slowly and slowly, then after it will be a correct method, safe method for derivation. So this way we can prefer. So addition of acid to water is preferred, should be follow, then addition of water into acid. So this, because this is a safe method, this method, and this is unsafe method. Okay, understood? So dear children, today what we have explained, that is about acid, the general thing about acid, and the where these all things are present and how they are harmful or harmless. So whatever I have explained you today, try to revise, try to learn, and if you have any doubt, you all are free to ask. All of you try to understand. Thank you and have a nice day to all of you.